Welcome back, everyone. This is Thomas Triple T Tie with another new bullish crypto analysis. Before we dig in, remember this is for edutainment only and not to be considered as financial advice. Also, when you feel value has been added in the video at any time, feel free to smash the like, ring my bell, hit subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Before we dive in and take a look at how the crypto market and the index, the equities markets are doing, let's cover some highlights and news items that may impact the markets. First is the supply chain is going to get a little bit more challenged because first we have the Russia's invasion in Ukraine, and with the sanctions, etc., that's going to limit some routes that normally travels through Russia or over Russia, and it has to be rerouted by sea. Additionally, the China's zero COVID policy, they're shutting down Shanghai in two phases so they can do testing, and those two phases will cause some challenges for workers and the port, etc. Because Shanghai is one of the major ports in international trades. The U.S. has an e-cash bill that proposes digital currency that replicates cash, and it's going to bypass the Fed and put it in with the treasuries, which is interesting. And this e-cash technology does not use blockchain at this time, so something to keep an eye on. That's pretty interesting. And anonymity is it's in here because cash, you don't register with anyone for holding cash. So this bill pretty much replicates cash, owning cash. So and it still adheres to federal regulations around money laundering, etc., etc., etc. So keep an eye on this. This is a pretty interesting development here. Coinbase has reportedly bought the Brazilian unicorn Mercado Bitcoin for $2.2 billion to expand their market share over there. So Coinbase is having a good time buying up little tiny companies. All right, that's enough news for that may impact our markets. Let's dive into the markets. Here's a crypto market. As you know, we had a phenomenal weekend, especially on Sunday with Bitcoin rallying to, what is it, 47.8K, I believe. So pretty fantastic weekend. And then that trend is, we still going, we're still in that bullish trend there. Overall, very, very green here. Bitcoin currently 47.6K. It's up 6.04. Dominance is 40, just above 42 at 42.11. Ethereum's 33.4K, up 6.38. Dominance almost at 19, 18.93. And Ethereum, interestingly, has Google search has shown a huge spike in Ethereum searches for the two words. I believe it was Ethereum ETH merger or something like that. That was the second word. I forget what it was, but it had a huge spike, and that's in anticipation of Ethereum's merger to with their proof of stake, other separate line, and they're gonna merge together hopefully this summer. I'm not sure that it's gonna happen though. It's Ethereum has been delayed with various mergers for several times, so we'll see. Yeah, overall looking good. ADA broke above its $1.20 like level. 120 for ADA. As some of you may know, I used to own a huge bag of ADA, and 120 is such a support and resistance level for ADA. For it to break above here from 78 cents is phenomenal, and it went up 7.41%. So good for ADA. Luna, it's getting close to 100. It's at 99 $1.76. So Luna its all-time high is around 105, I believe, from memory. I could be wrong, but so it's getting close. It could put in another all-time high pretty soon here. AVAX is having a phenomenal weekend too, 94.20, 9.45% increase. So yeah, looking good. Crypto's looking really good. On the other hand, equities market is not looking so hot. Overall, pretty reddish and muted red, but we have some green spots here. Let's cover some greens. Microsoft is up 1.29. We got Amazon up 1.34. Tesla up a whopping 7.92 because there's rumors of its stock split happening soon. Walmart is up 1.30. So pretty much that's Baba is up 1.51. Those are some major companies that having an up positive day today. Sector-wise, we see big red in energy. Basic material is pretty red. Financials, especially in banks and diversified and banks regional, very red there. But otherwise, yeah, muted red to red overall for the equities market, which takes us to the charts. Trading view, 30-minute time frame, 7 days worth on each column here. Let's go through the watch list first. SPX is up slightly, 0.05%, and that's at 4,545. He actually used a different chart so I can read it easier. And then we got Nasdaq here, up 0.74, and that's due to some of a few companies, not like the whole sector as a whole, as you saw in the heat map there. The Dow index is at 3,470. Wait. Sorry. 34,724, and that's down negative 0.39. SPX just kind of popped up there a little bit. The VIX volatility index for the equities market is 20.8, and that's down 0.05. So volatility is dropping. Dixie is at 99.18 roughly, up 0.37. US 10-year yield is at 2.4 and some change, and that's down negative 0.44. And oil is at 106, so it's not over 110, but it's still high, and that's a drop from negative 5.72. Gold is down at 1,933.7 and some change, and that's down negative 1.22, and silver is also down. As far as the dollar versus the euro, the pound, and the Japanese yen against the euro, it's down, so it's strong. No, the dollar is stronger than the euro, and so that's the pairing is down negative 0.03. Dollar versus the the pound versus the dollar, it's also down, which means the dollar is stronger there, and that's down negative 0.72, and the dollar paired with the yen, that's up at 1.26, and so dollars overall strong against all three. So that's where we're at with the watch list. Let's dive over here in the U.S. stock market. We see here that Bitcoin had rallied. It's been rallying for like on average in the last 7 days there. And it's reflected somewhat in the Nasdaq here. But the move over the weekend doesn't match what Nasdaq is showing here. From if you can measure from the previous open period to now, it doesn't match up. Bitcoin is accelerating. Excuse me, much faster upward. Nasdaq opened higher, but you can see after market open, it dipped a little bit and then has a little bit of recovery there. And then the S&P 500 similarly. So the positive correlation with Nasdaq and SPX here, it's not quite there. You know, what little is there is minute, so it's not quite positively correlating. For the Dow index here, it opened slightly down from the previous closing period, and then it dropped a little bit and it's having a little bit of recovery here. Here's the Dixie here. You can see over the weekend, towards the end of the weekend, it was rising. So that's while Bitcoin was rising. So normally they have a negative correlation, but that's not the case. At market opening, the Dixie dropped while Bitcoin kind of dropped. Yeah, it kind of dropped right there. It's hard to see. It's tiny. So the negative correlation between Dixie and Bitcoin is not holding either, in my opinion, in the current period. So that leads me to wonder, normally there's some positive correlation between Bitcoin and Nasdaq and S&P 500, and some negative correlation between Bitcoin and Dixie. The fact that they're not correlating makes me wonder some more about the recent rise for Bitcoin. Is that sustainable? That's the question that's on my mind. I don't think so. I think things come, life and nature and things like that has a balance and it has an equilibrium point. And eventually, whatever things that happen outside of that equilibrium point will come back to equilibrium or balance, if you will. So I believe this move up here more than likely will come back to around 45K, 46K. First 46, then around 45, possibly. That's what I'm thinking. Let's go to yield. Yield, you can see here at current market opening, it's slightly down from where it closed last time. And as you saw over here, here's the yield. You can see the negative trend down here. So yeah, that's the U.S. market. Let's go to your European markets here and stock 600. What are we seeing? The UK 100 index at U.S. market opening, it dropped here. The DAX in Germany, that's also dropped. But notice that the DAX, it opened higher than its previous closing period, but it's not dropping. Same thing with the CAC in France, opened higher and then dropped. And then the stock 600, also same thing, opened higher right here and then dropped. So markets are dropping here in Europe at relative to the US market opening time. Let's go over to Australia. Australia has a 7-day increase here, but it also dropped in its last session. The Nikkei 225, similarly, it's a 7-day average is trending up, but it's kind of sideways. The South Korean KOSPI, it's somewhat sideways. It went, in its last session, it went up. It dropped slightly at the end. Hang Seng HSI Hong Kong index here, it's pretty much crapping sideways. Last session went up and then opened up and then kind of trended sideways. The Shanghai Shenzhen CSI 300 pretty much on a downward trend in the last handful of days here, and it opened a little bit higher in this last session and chopped sideways. So very mixed over in Australia and Asia here. We got some ups and some choppiness and some downs down here. It's weird. It's like it's more up here and then it's more down here. The trend more down towards the bottom of this column. It's just weird. Okay, so what does this tell me about the market? Well, it's mixed. It's mixed, but crypto is just blowing up. And if you look at gold is down, silver's down. So, people are shifting their money to crypto, which is a risk on, in my opinion. And they're not shifting it to stocks. I mean, stocks have had like a 2-week run up, so it's great for them. And same thing with crypto, but it seems like money is shifting to crypto, in my opinion. But how long will that last? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they keep their money in there. And the recent over their weekend pump from crypto, that because it happened in such a small segment of time, and I believe that to be a few, if not just one entity, and we'll see what happens in the long run. So that's it. It's a more risk-on environment, but more risk-on towards crypto than it is towards equities. So that's what I think. I'll see you in the next video for the Bitcoin daily chart analysis. If you've missed the weekly chart analysis for Bitcoin. I highly recommend you watch that. It's listed on YouTube. That one has a lot of cool information, especially on the spot to derivatives basis change. That's pretty cool indicator that finally flipped positive. All right, I'll see you in the next video later today. Peace.